You're going live now.
Good morning. Today is Tuesday, April 4th, 2023. And this is an abbreviated morning session for Senate Natural Resources and Energy. We are going to do a little housekeeping this morning since we lost most of our morning session to 4 work. Probably that won't happen again because we've cleared out the calendar finally. So with that, we're first going to turn to gubernatorial appointees and confirmations, then some committee discussion on priorities, given that we have either 16 days left counting today or 20 if we get an extra week, as morning committees shut down earlier than the afternoon committee. And I think that's the only short-term business we have. And then tomorrow, we will pick our work back up on anti-degradation and dedicate the morning to that. My hope is that we'll be able to vote that bill out this week. All the parties that were in last week to talk about it have continued to work with each other, and there's been a productive back and forth between agency and various advocates who have been involved in anti-deg and the related statute for several years. So we'll see. We'll go through, we're going to start with the rule, which we didn't look at when we first met on it, the underlying rule that's going to Elkhart. Because the rule, although we're officially amending statute, it goes hand in hand with that rule, and there's a discussion about sort of a give and take between the two in order to come up with a balanced approach to move forward. So we'll do both those things tomorrow. All right, so with that, does anyone have a gubernatorial appointee that they want to report out? And anyone available?
I have 3.
Okay, Senator McCormick, you want to give us a brief walkthrough?
Clear this file, yeah. Steve Larrabee. Yeah, my glasses are foggy. Steve Larrabee of West Danville has been appointed by the governor as a member of the Natural Resources Board. We spoke briefly over the phone. He's a former House representative from Danville, in the Danville area district. He expressed a skepticism of powerful boards. So when I asked him, how do you feel about the somewhat diminished powers of the environmental board, now Natural Resources Board, he said he thought it was probably a good thing. He's skeptical of powerful government. And, I don't know if I share his ideological views, but he seemed that's not our job. It's the governor's prerogative, and certainly my impression is of a intelligent and diligent person. I did ask the standard question: is there anything in your past that would embarrass the governor or to become public? And he gave the predictable answer: no.
Okay.
So that is Steve Larrabee.
All right. Might as well just.
Should I clerk vote on all the appointees at some point?
Yeah, I'm recording them, or I don't know that we need a sheet for each, but okay. So, any questions for Senator McCormick? Mr. Larry? I do remember him as a host member. I served with him on House Ag once upon a time.
I, to be honest, do not remember him, but can you tell us a little bit about him? at the house.
I would say we had slightly different worldviews. Mine was a little, I'd say he was more, just as your same story really now, more conservative about the role of government
Mhm.
at the time. But thoughtful
Yeah.
and contributed, friendly, all the rest, yeah, so. Okay,
Well within the governor's prerogatives.
Yeah.
So
I think that we'll straw poll these as we go through so that we can pass them along. So all those in favor, say aye, please.
Aye.
Okay, so I'm putting it down as 401. Okay, thanks for the comment. Your next candidate.
and Julie Walcott of Enosburg as an alternate Natural Resources Board member. She's a retired farmer. She served on her district commission, Act 250 commission. And she had worked with Senators Cattell and Horrigan, so that she has familiarity with the system. She and I had a very, very pleasant talk, and I don't know if that counts as a qualification for office, but I enjoyed it.
Step in the right direction.
Yeah, and a retired farmer, so she has some background.
Any questions for Senator McCormick? Okay, so all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, 4-0, recording it as 401.
Yep.
Thank you again, Senator McCormick. Anybody else?
Walter Hastings of South Royalton as a member of the Current Use Advisory Board. For full disclosure, I was not able to get in touch with him on his email, and I was not able to find a phone number for him. However, Walter Hastings and I have been personal acquaintances for probably 40 or 50 years. And so I will give my personal endorsement of his character. He is, for one thing, a public servant. He does any number of things in the town of Royalton. He did attempt to get a Democratic nomination for the House of Representatives from the Royalton district many years ago. He did not prevail in the primary, but the person who did would speak highly of him as well, Sarah Buxton. So that he is intelligent. He's also very, very gently stoic. I have seen him. I mean, he's well established in the community, and I think often gets his way. But I've seen him not get his way as well, and he's handled himself with dignity and grace. So I give my enthusiastic endorsement of Walter Hastings.
Thank you. Any questions for Senator McCormick? Any discussion? No? All those in favor of approving Walter Hastings to the Current Use Advisory Board, please say aye.
Aye.
All right, recording is 401.
And none of these appointments are underlined in the calendar, if I'm not mistaken.
Right, that'll just be listed and we'll vote them in block.
Yeah.
Thanks so much. Any other members of the committee have anyone to bring forward?
Getting on top of it.
All right,
my-
Senator White.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I have John Arison, whose name may be familiar to some of us.
Yeah.
State Rep John Arison from Weathersfield, and Ascutney, apologies. He is a member of the Connecticut River Valley Flood Control Commission, and this would be a reappointment. And he is a lovely state representative, very involved in his community, and would be a great addition in my view. We spoke briefly about this, and he was surprised that I needed to talk to him because he thought he was already good to go on this. So I would say he's well prepared and ready to take on the assignment.
Okay, great. Any committee discussion?
I'll second the comment. Aaron's a good guy.
Okay, so all those in favor of recommending approval for the appointment of John Erickson of Scotty to the Connecticut River Control Commission.
Connecticut River Valley Flood Control
All right.
Commission.
Hmm.
I have one more for that group as well too.
Valley Flood Control Commission, please say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. 401. Okay.
So I was not able to get in touch with Evan Hammond yet, who is also someone who would like to be reappointed to the Connecticut River Valley Flood Control Commission. So I'll work on that some more. And then my third is Harold Howrigan from Sheldon. And Harold has a lovely bio on the Agency of Ag, Food and Markets because he is one of the commissioners. He would like to be on the Current Use Advisory Board again. He lives in Fairfield with his wife. They own and operate Howrigan Family Farms. Fun fact, they collectively milk over 1,200 Holsteins at 4 different facilities. They also have a small maple sugaring operation. And he graduated with a BFA from St. Albans in 2004. He has an associate degree in applied animal science from the University of New Hampshire. So I'll forgive him as a UVMer. And he would be a great addition in my view. We were not able to connect, although we exchanged multiple voicemails.
Okay. Any committee discussion? So all those in favor of recommending the appointment of Harold Horrigan to the Current Use Advisory Board, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay, 401. An uncontroversial morning, not surprised actually. Thanks, away. Anyone else have anyone you want to report out this morning? We'll do this in rounds. There are, but thank you for the work so far, helping us get them out because we'll have like 15 of these by the time we're done with the session.
Mr. Chairman, on my notes, I had written Cattell Horrigan on one of my notes, and I had mentioned the candidate having served on the board. I'm realizing that's all I wrote. That was a cue to myself, and my memory has come back on that. It was on the district commission. She had served, so it wasn't Senator Horrigan. There are a lot of Horrigans.
Yes.
Okay, and I think it was former Senator Cattell as well. Also, Senator White, you didn't need to correct yourself about Aronson being from Weathersfield, or Scuttney is a village in the town of Weathersfield.
I am aware of that, Senator.
Okay.
I also have been corrected by folks from Ascutney that they would like to be referred to as from Ascutney
And not Weathersfield?
and not Weathersfield, as there are some folks who are from Queechee and not from Hartford. Dun, dun, dun.
Well,
Controversy for the morning.
Well, they're from Hartford, they like it.
And they're from Weathersfield, they like it or not.
That may offend their snobbery, but they're from Hartford.
Exactly. I know. Sorry, this is a little Windsor joke.
Yeah. Well, we have Bristol Village, Bristol Town, you know. So people everywhere seem to find ways to make their tribe smaller. Right. Anything, so if I have myself to catch up with people, so we'll come back to this again on a weekly basis, sort of when we have odd gaps in our schedule.
Don't worry if you're not as diligent as I am.
Have not lost a lot of sleep over it yet, but could happen anytime. Okay, so thanks. With that, just wanted to pause. So I was talking about I have the shot clock up there, which always has a sort of foreboding and useful function of reminding us how little time we have. We have roughly 11 hours a week and roughly 4 or 5 weeks, so 44 to 55 hours, which isn't a lot of time, but we also have a history of being able to look at things and dig in fast and move things along. So I think we'll actually get a lot done. We may empty our in basket entirely. We'll see.
I hope so.
So given, I just wanted to, well, one thing is I just wanted to pause because we've already worked on S80, S115. We worked on the housing bill S100 and S5. So thank you to everyone in the committee for steady work to get a lot of work done already. That leaves us with some opportunities to prioritize, and I would like to, I've filled in anti-deg for tomorrow, but want to look ahead at the balance of this week and into next, doing the schedule for the next 12 days to hear from you all about what priorities are. So as a reminder of what's in our in-basket at the moment, we have, it's just a drafting request, it's a committee bill, and that is the anti-degradation committee bill, which is drafting request 231011. We have H67, the household hazardous waste bill. We have S140, the energy storage bill. For work already produced, sorry, S137 are the Energy Efficiency Modernization Act we already did as well. Sorry. There is, I've been approached about the need to look into Act 250 as it pertains to grid upgrades of poles and wires. So we'll have something in our in-basket on that. We have H126, the 30 by 30 bill. And what am I leaving out that people would like to talk about here? Oh, sorry, H158, the bottle
Yep,
bill.
that's the one I was gonna say.
And,
H126, obviously.
yeah, 30 by 30, right?
Mhm.
So there are, so I haven't mentioned yet other bills that are up there, and I didn't want to assume any. So are there bills up there that members of the committee are hoping that we will get to this year?
I think we've got something coming from the House regarding traffic. don't we?
There's also S111 on traffic.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've been getting, I'm guessing you may have as well, bills on 111.
Did you say the household hazardous waste bill?
Yeah,
Yes, that one is
and you mentioned the bottle bill, right? You said the bottle bill.
bottle bill, which is H158, I think that's the number, right?
yeah. So the other thing that's on my radar, of course, is hoping that we do end up with a renewable energy standard bill. Wondering if we could start some work on that.
Yes, as a matter of fact, I had drafting requests.
Oh, good.
Sitting with Ms. Chakowski since last, like September. And I asked her to dust it off and we'll introduce it, so we'll get that on the table.
Great.
So what I'm hearing is that there may be something coming from the House, maybe not, who knows, rather than, but given how tight time is, whether it's a House bill coming over or we're sending something to them, there's a pretty compact and well-defined study that I think will be helpful on the RES, and it can go either way, but this way, if we do get something to the House,
We're ready to go.
We'll be ready to go.
Great.
We'll be starting from scratch. So thank you for that.
I think the fast track is to use House bills now.
Yeah.
If we do a Senate thing, we're waiting till next year.
Okay, the only thing I would add to that is, sometimes we'll pass it as an S bill, just so that the Senate's already processed it completely. And that way, attaching it to an H bill is a cleaner path because it doesn't whatever provisions would have gone to finance and appropriations have already been looked at. But yeah, thanks, Senator. I agree. There's a lot of ways to get to the finish line. So of those, I'm looking at a sense of committee priority, because we just went through like 8 things, and are there curious to how people are, what they want to move first to the list. On my list is, anti-deg, which I'd love to see us get out this week.
Mhm.
That's sort of actively fermenting right now, and I think home brewing. I used to do home brewing. Active fermentation. So we'll have a lot more information by the end of tomorrow. And it may well be that we're only a day and another round of revisions away from having a votable bill by the end of the week. With that, as I'm thinking about scheduling in Thursday, must be unshy enough to nominate one of these bills to be first in queue. Watson?
There are 2 that rise to the top for me. One is the bottle bill, and the other is just starting in on the renewable energy standard. So hopefully I'd love to get both of those rolling this week.
Okay, great. And 3 members of this committee happily have a head start on the bottle bill, because we did a version which I think is a lot like what came to us last spring. So we've head of steam. Senator White.
So definitely the bottle bill.
Yeah.
As I think I've noted to you, I knocked on doors for that about 11 years ago. So it'd be nice to see that come to fruition.
You were, it's just like, never mind.
And then H126 for sure, and
Okay.
some changes, which is the one we just, the biodiversity bill.
Oh, biodiversity.
30,
And then-
30 by, also known as 30 by 30.
Yes, I'm
Yes.
happy to refer to it as 30 by 30, if that's helpful.
We can call whatever you want.
I like the bill number, it's a good number. And then I do want to look at the household hazardous waste one. So really the 3 House bills are my priority at this point.
Okay. And H67 household hazardous waste. Okay. Great.
And the renewable energy standard bill, but
And
I do think that we're going to see some work done on that.
Great. I hope that and expect you're right. So, Sir McCormick, what would you move to the head of the queue? So we may get to everything. I mean, we did 19 bills through this committee last year, not last biennium, last year. So I know the committee is really capable of digging in and working. So, but with that said, what would you move to the head of the queue?
well, of course, I have for me, the trapping issue is a continuation of last year's effort.
Okay.
So
is that a head of queue thing for you? I know that, we have. a lot of-
do I have to set first place, second place, third? How about the in
Your
crowd?
ranked choice.
Well, what we're really doing is scheduling the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, I'd like that taken up, because we really are, that's an ongoing project. The report does not end the next step after the report is what do we want to do with it. The report tells us what's the best way to trap, which is not an answer to the question, should we be having the trapping at all? So I think I agreed to give the agency a chance to hold forth, and they got that chance. Now it's,
Senator Watson?
I'm sorry, I don't want to interrupt you.
okay, well, let me finish with, I would also join with the bottle bill. I think just because I'm not sure if it's the most important to me personally, but it's important, and it's very important to a lot of people. We're hearing a lot about it, so out of deference to the people who care. And as I'm not saying that I don't. Biodiversity, of course. Nancy Dick. And I'll leave it at that.
Okay. Thank you very much. Anything else? Okay.
I just want to say that the trapping bill is on my radar. I'm not sure it's like head of
Yeah.
the list right now, but I do hope that it's something we take up.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would like to not do it again.
There's no more videos.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I will do anything to not see one of those videos again. So there's a way to get that done. Yeah.
Yeah. that
And
was-
I know Senator McDonald was not here, but could we make sure that we get his?
Yeah, I'm hoping that he's just coming in late today. And I'll see him in finance, so I'll bring my vote list with me and check in with him. That's really all, since I thought 4 might go all the way through, so I just scheduled lightly for this morning. But that's really helpful, so thank you. We will, let's see, we have at least the ones that rise to the front, move towards the front of the line based on what we just talked about are the Cloudville, RES, and 30 by 30. So we'll push those forward, and then we'll look the next year to weave more things in. And with that, we have actually finished our work for this morning. So, anything else, new business, family stories you wish to share, from embarrassing family incidents you wish to share?